Hey, what's up guys? Today, I'll show you a horror comedy film, Chompy and the Girls. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. The movie begins with a young woman's end. This particular woman, whose name is Jackson, just doesn't see the point in living her miserable life, so she writes her suicide note and tests the makeshift noose she had hung from the ceiling fan. She clambers up a desk chair so she can tighten the noose around herself. She then kicks off the chair and hangs herself. However, life is far from done with her. The ceiling fan breaks, bringing her legs close to the ground and ending her suicide attempt. Someplace else, Sam, a middle-aged man in glasses, comes home from work. He is eager to tell his wife about his co-worker, who resigned to become a swamp creature, but she's too busy to listen to him. Jackson decides to call her friend Lotus as she fixes her ceiling fan, but she just reaches his voicemail. She tries to call her mother too, but she quickly hangs up on Jackson as well. She proceeds to call her drug dealer and invites him to hang out with her in that park later that day. With no one in her life willing to talk to her, Jackson sinks deeper into her depression. As a last resort, she messages her estranged father, who turns out to be Sam. At that moment, Sam is being scolded by his wife for buying sandwiches for dinner. He pulls out his phone and sees that a girl named Jackson had messaged him, saying she is his daughter. At first, Sam thinks he is being scammed, but Sam is convinced upon seeing Jackson's follow-up messages explaining who her mother is and that her mother discovered she was pregnant after they broke up. Jackson asks Sam if they can meet up at the park. He lies to his wife and tells her that he has to take care of something at work. Jackson is waiting for Sam on a bench. He slowly approaches her, and they get to know each other. She explains that her mother told her that she and Sam dated in college and promptly dropped out after she got pregnant. She and Jackson don't have a good relationship either. This is all news to Sam, and he slowly processes the fact that he has a daughter. Just when Jackson starts to think that they're off to a good start, Sam gets cold feet and tells her that he's not ready to have a family relationship with her. He says that he will contact her when he finally wraps his head around this revelation. Sam is about to leave when Jackson notices a man in a suit jacket and bright red tank top approaching a young girl in a pink raincoat. The strange thing is that the man's mouth is unnaturally gaping very wide. His lips, tongue, and teeth are comically enlarged. Suddenly, the man, short-named Chompy, swallows the raincoat girl whole. Jackson and Sam are frozen in shock. Chompy notices them and starts heading to their spot across the park. They spring into action and run their smelly asses away. Jackson returns to her apartment, barely believing what she had seen that day. She sits down in front of her computer and tries to search on the internet articles about Chompy. However, nothing relevant comes up. Suddenly, she hears a knock on the door. She opens it and sees no one. Jackson closes the door again. It flies open and Chompy walks in. His mouth expands again and he stalks toward her to eat her. Jackson runs out of her apartment. She heads straight to Sam's house and ends up surprising his wife. Jackson tries to convince her father that they need to leave now, but he doesn't want to. His wife assumes that Jackson is his mistress, and Jackson corrects the story by quickly explaining that she's his daughter from his college girlfriend. The wife draws back the curtains and sees Chompy speeding toward the house. Jackson gets tired of the conversation and threatens the wife with a kitchen knife. Sam reluctantly goes with his daughter, leaving his very confused and exasperated wife behind. While in the car, Jackson tells Sam that they're going to her friend Lotus, who is an expert on the occult and unnatural. Sam receives multiple messages from his wife, asking him where he is. He texts her his location, and she scrambles to go to him. Meanwhile, Sam and Jackson arrive at the house where Lotus is. When they step inside, they are surprised to see a full-on party raging. The various people inside are all either drunk or high. Jackson yanks Lotus into a corner and tries to explain what happened, but Lotus is too out of it. He focuses on a man who drugs a girl's drink. Then he grabs the cup from her and drinks it instead. The man punches him, and Jackson and the group flee the party. Sam questions why Lotus couldn't have just grabbed the cup away from the girl. They manage to get Lotus inside the car as the effects of the pill start to happen. He starts talking about his book on creatures from alternate worlds and how it describes a monster that consumes people. A minute later, he pukes. Sam suddenly sees Raincoat Girl walking by the side of the road. She appears to be fine, despite being eaten whole by Chompy. Raincoat Girl is on the verge of tears, and she tells them that she's lost, and her mother was supposed to come and get her. Jackson says that they saw a girl who looked just like her in the park earlier, but Raincoat Girl has no recollection of that. She answers that she was in a lot of places, including a cinema. Jackson is very suspicious of the girl and questions her in rapid-fire succession. While they're debating what to do, Chompy emerges from the darkness and walks toward them. They hurriedly get in the car with Raincoat Girl and drive away. Raincoat Girl does not recognize Chompy at all. Meanwhile, Sam's wife arrives at the scene of the party, where the police have broken the gathering and are arresting the troublemakers. The runaway group gets to Lotus' apartment. Jackson has to guide Lotus inside the house. Raincoat Girl does not want to leave the car, but Sam forces her to. Later, Jackson gets her head on straight and asks Lotus to perform a magic circle to protect them all from Chompy, but he's still too loopy, so she just tucks him into bed and sings him to sleep. She finds a book about the creatures from alternate worlds and flips through it, hoping to find Chompy there and the answer to defeating him. Jackson steps outside the room and finds her father unconscious on the floor. Raincoat Girl is hovering over his face and is surprised by her arrival. She quickly darts away and escapes. Jackson immediately goes to Sam, and he wakes up. She mentions that it looked like Raincoat Girl was trying to eat Sam's face. Jackson goes through the book again and finds the monster Lotus was describing. Chompy appears to be a creature that latches onto another being like a parasite. To their horror, they discover that Sam's left foot no longer looks like an adult man's foot. It's now approximately the size of a young girl's foot. To calm him down, Jackson distracts him by telling him that she joined the army, only to be kicked out a week later. Sam blurts out that he had already called his wife to come and get him. Jackson gets angry at her father, and it blows up into an argument about Sam trusting Raincoat Girl more than he trusted Jackson. Suddenly, Sam gets the idea to confront Chompy. He now believes that Raincoat Girl is the evil parasite, and Chompy is just there to eradicate her. Sure enough, Chompy appears at the garage door. He stops in his tracks when Sam starts pleading with him that they can work together to catch Raincoat Girl. Chompy elongates his smelly mouth and points inside it, indicating that Sam and Jackson should climb inside it. Jackson dives in without hesitation, while Sam is a bit more reluctant. Still, the two of them find each other inside Chompy's mouth. Chompy's voice reverberates through his cavernous mouth. He explains that he was tasked to chase the shadow parasite that was in Raincoat Girl. She has been consuming humans and replicating herself with their bodies. Earlier, she had managed to latch onto Sam and feed on him, which was why his feet now resemble the girl's foot. If Chompy can't find the shadow parasite and destroy her, then Sam's whole body will be transformed into a Raincoat Girl clone. This explains why Chompy was at the park earlier, consuming a girl. The Raincoat Girl they had happened upon on the side of the road was also merely another clone. Jackson and Sam just feel relieved that they can sit back and relax as Chompy hunts down Raincoat Girl and ends her. The two climb back out of his mouth. They now fully understand Chompy's mission and send him off with their best wishes. He walks out of the garage, but then gets run over by the wife in her car. Just when they see a light at the end of the tunnel, all their hopes are dashed because the one being capable of ending Raincoat Girl is dead as shit. Jackson blows up and blames Sam for calling his wife. All three of them get into a car and they drive to a diner. While sitting around the table, Jackson continues to berate Sam for being cowardly, especially in terms of being a father to her. Sam apologizes for not reacting nicely in the park earlier that day, and he says he wishes that he has a better relationship with his daughter. He then comes up with the idea to talk with Raincoat Girl and make her see the error of her ways. In fact, he senses that there are multiple Raincoat Girl clones in their vicinity. Jackson dismisses his plan as idiotic, and she pours syrup on the table in retaliation. A waitress stops by their table and asks Jackson what she's doing. Embarrassed, the three of them leave the diner. Meanwhile, a young woman is talking on the phone when Raincoat Girl approaches her. She tells the woman that she needs help. Behind the woman, an army of her clones is running up the road. Jackson and the others pile inside the car and start driving. Sam's clone foot starts tingling, and Jackson finally agrees with his plan of talking to Raincoat Girl. While driving, Jackson confesses that she wishes she was a happier person and that she isn't struggling with depression and drug addiction. Sam suggests that she join the Peace Corps, and maybe in that way, her mindset will change. Using Sam's foot tingles, they are able to locate 3 Raincoat Girl clones gathered in one place. 2 of them flee, but Jackson manages to catch one of them. With the help of the wife, they stuff the girl in the trunk of the car. However, a man sees them and pulls out his phone to call the police because he thinks that Jackson is kidnapping a little kid. Jackson runs to the man and tackles him to the ground. He gets scared of her, and she lets him go. Back in his apartment, Lotus wakes up from his stupor and wonders where Jackson and Sam are. He finds Chompy's body in his kitchen. While in the car, the wife asks Sam if he really wants to get a divorce. He confesses that he has thought about separating with her because they never really communicate as a couple. Sam thinks that they would be happier alone rather than together. The wife does not take this lying down. She accuses Sam of not being a good husband either because he doesn't really talk to her. They get back to Jackson's apartment and tie the Raincoat Girl clone up with tape. Lotus texts Jackson and tells her that he is Chompy, and she urges him to get to her apartment with Chompy's body. She then asks Raincoat Girl why she is doing this. Meanwhile, dozens of clones surround the apartment. Jackson is panicking now, and she suggests torturing the clone they have to insanity, so the others would go insane too. But Sam goes against this, and actually says that based on the baby foot tingles he is feeling, the clones are not vindictive. In fact, they are scared. The three of them try their best to block all entrances to the apartment to prevent the Raincoat girls from coming. Lotus arrives in his car. Jackson gets the idea to use Chompy's dead corpse. They will force all the clones inside Chompy's mouth to finally eradicate Raincoat Girl. Sam goes to the bedroom and finds his unconscious wife being attacked by a group of clones. He fights them off and rescues his wife. Jackson goes outside her apartment and pops open Lotus' car trunk to get to Chompy's dead body. Sam huddles with his wife inside the bathroom. They share a tender moment together where the love is rekindled between them. However, the wife is also infected by the Raincoat girls and her hand turns into a little girl's hand. Jackson jumps inside Chompy's mouth. She finds the Raincoat girl that was swallowed by Chompy at the park earlier. She slowly approaches the girl to convince her not to destroy the world. The scared Raincoat girl says that she does not want to hurt anyone, and the parasite inside her is forcing her to clone everybody. She adds that she cannot remove the parasite anymore because it's a part of her now. She urges Jackson to go before she can no longer control herself, but Jackson tells her to let go of the parasite and give it to her instead. She's ready to make the sacrifice and let the innocent girl be free. Raincoat Girl gives her the parasite and Jackson tries not to let it win. One by one, the clones all take Jackson's form. She forces all of them to jump inside Chompy's mouth so they can revert to their normal selves. What's left is just the real Jackson, fighting not to be consumed by the parasite. Sam is also healed from the infection, and he sees Jackson struggling. He helped his daughter overcome the parasite. They try to jump out of Chompy's mouth, but the portal is no longer open. Sam and Jackson hug each other, resigning themselves to their fate. Suddenly, a red rope is lowered inside. It's Lotus and the wife rescuing them. They pull Sam and Jackson out of the mouth and back into the real world. There are now dozens of healed people wandering around Jackson's yard, pretty confused. The real Raincoat Girl is reunited with her parents. After that, Sam and his wife reach the new ground in their relationship. They both realize that they love each other, but they are better off separated than married. Meanwhile, Jackson admits to herself that she needs help in getting her life together. Fortunately, Sam is no longer afraid of being her father. He hugs her and tells her that she is not alone anymore. From now on, he will be with her every step of the way. The movie ends with Sam, Jackson, Lotus, and the wife going off to have a meal together after their ordeal. They had come out of the other side with a better understanding of each other and a belief in strange creatures from other worlds. This is Daniel's CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.